Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. So today we are going to start with another problem from the sliding window of the CSES problem set. This is actually an easy problem. So let's start with the problem statement is saying, and then we'll discuss the approach and with the code as well. So without wasting much of our time, let's dive into the problem statement. So the problem statement is saying you are given an array of n integers and it asks you to calculate the sum of window of k elements from left to right. So in the previous video we have talked about we are finding the sliding window minimum, that for every size of element k we are finding the minimum element in the window. But now not finding the minimum, we have to find the sum of all the elements in the size of a window of k, and we are given with a test case. And okay, so this is actually an easy problem. So let's understand how we are solving this problem. So let's suppose if I explain you the problem statement. So the problem statement is saying, let's suppose we are given with an array 1 3 0 8 2 5. Let's suppose we are given with this particular array and your window size is equals to 3. So the first window size is this. So if we talk about this first window size, so this first window size sum is 4. So the next time the window size would be this. So 308 would be my next window, so sum of this would be 11. Next time it would be 082, it would be 10. Next time it would be 825, so it would be 15. And then what we have to do, we have to XOR all of these window sums, and that would be our final answer. So this is what the problem statement is asking us to do. Now let's see how do we actually solve this problem optimally. Okay, now if we understand, if we got the idea from the previous video as well, we can say that let's suppose we have defined the first window of size k, right? Now the next window would be, let's suppose there is a I pointer here and a j pointer here. For the next window, I would be doing my j++, because I have to consider this particular element in my next window, and also I have to remove this particular ith element as well. So then only my size of this particular window would also remain k, right? So what we can do is, let's suppose the window, like the sum from I to j is, let's suppose we know that value is sum. Okay, now if I want to find the sum for the next window, like if I talk about the I plus 1th to j plus 1th, if I want to find the sum of this particular sum, so how optimally I can find that? First one is a brute force approach, that for every window size go and find the sum from I to j. So that would be actually taking a big of n square time. So like that won't be much of a like a good solution to work upon, because that would be a brute force and that would give a TLE solution. But now if we think in an optimal fashion, now let's draw it diagrammatically. Let's suppose this is my A pointer and this is my J pointer. I know the value of here is sum. Now if I'm adding this particular extra block here, now I sum till I comma j plus 1, if I talk about this only, my value would be sum of sum plus a of j. Can I say this? Like a of j plus 1. If I add this particular element into my window, so my sum would, for the entire window, would be sum of this. Now I'm saying I have to remove this particular element as well. So removing this particular element means I have to subtract this value. So this would be minus of a of I. Is this what I would be saying? Yes or no? Like you can assume like 0 base 1 base indexing accordingly, like just giving you the idea of how optimally we would be finding the sum of the next particular window, knowing the sum of the previous window. So now the code would be very simple. So what we would be doing is, we would be first in finding the sum for the initial window, that is from 0 to k, and for every window after that we would be doing sum plus a of j minus a of I. So this is, and then this would be the sum for each of the window that would be coming next, and then XORing all of the values would give us the final answer. Now if we see the code, so this is the input that we have taken, right? Initially I have defined the sum, window sum has to be 0, and this is here I'm taking the sum of the first window of elements k, and I have initialized that to my answer as sum. Now my 2 pointers are I is equals to 0 and j equal to k. Now till the last window, what I would be doing is I would be doing sum is equals to sum minus v of I plus v of j, as we have discussed, and then taking the XOR of the next window, then increasing my pointers, and finally returning the answer. So this is actually an easy problem that we have discussed, and with this also get accepted. So and in this so this is how we are actually solving this particular problem, and I would be posting more of this, like completing the sliding window playlist first, and then we would be moving ahead. Like I would be completing this in the further videos, and then we would be completing all of the CSES problem in the further set. Let me know which another section you want me to cover, so we'll solve that and we'll post the solutions to all of those problems with you. Thank you.